Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing well. In this video, I am going to show you how to find internal rate of return or IRR for a project by using a financial calculator. Look at this example. To start a new chairlift project, they need to make an initial cost of $210,000 at the beginning. After 15 years, the residual value of the lift would be $80,000. This picture shows a summary of the costs and returns of this project. All the numbers are in $1,000. The initial cost of the project is $210,000. Then, for the first 3 years, the clearing cost would be $25,000 per year. In the investment decision application, we always suppose that the costs are at the beginning of each time interval. There are three clearing costs of $25,000 for the first 3 years. And I have written all the costs at the beginning of each time interval, which is a year. Each interval here is a year. After that, they expect the returns of $38,000 for the first 5 years. Expected returns of $38,000 for the first 5 years. In the investment decision application, we always suppose that returns are at the end of each time interval. So I have written the returns at the end of each time interval, which is a year. All the returns are at the end of each time interval, which is a year. Look at here. First return at the end of the first year, second return at the end of the second year, and so on. Also, they expect returns of $100,000 for the following 10 years. The first return of $100,000 at the end of year number 6, another return of $100,000 at the end of year number 7. These returns continue for 10 years. So the last return of $100,000 would be in year number 15. At the end of year number 15. At the end of year number 15, also they expect a residual value of $80,000. Now to find the rate of return for this project, I am going to use IRR function in Texas Instrument BA2 Plus Financial Calculator. First, I hit CF, calculator shows CF0. CF0 is the initial cost of the project. But at the beginning of the project, as well as an initial cost of $210,000, they have a first clearing cost of $25,000. So we have 210 as the initial cost plus 25, which is the first clearing cost. Then enter. But it's the initial cost at the beginning of the project. And because it's a cost, I'm going to enter that as a negative number. So I press positive negative to change that to a negative number. Then enter. Now I go down by using this key. Now I'm going to enter the next returns and the costs for this project. At the end of year number 1, they expect a return of $38,000, but they have a cost of $25,000 also. So I need to subtract this cost of $25,000 from the return of $38,000. That would be the net expected return at the end of year number 1. So 38 minus 25, which is 13, then enter. It's the expected return at the end of the first year, at the end of year number 1. Same happens at the end of year number 2. So for 2 periods or 2 years, they expect a net return of $13,000. So I go down and I change F01 to 2 and then enter. Why? Because for 2 periods, they expect a net return of $13,000. Now again, I go down. After 2 years, they expect just returns of $38,000 for 3 years or for 3 periods. So now I'm going to change C02 to 38 and then enter and go down and change F02 to 3 because for 3 years the expected returns would be $38,000. What happens after 5 years? After 5 years, returns of $100,000 start. So I go down and change C03 to 100. Then enter. But just for 9 years, they expect returns of $100,000 because at the end of year number 15, as well as a return of $100,000, they expect a residual value of $80,000. So go down and change F03 to 9, not 10, and then enter. Now it's time to enter the returns in year number 15. So I go down. In year number 15, as well as a return of $100,000, they expect a residual value of $80,000. So I'm going to add them together, 100 plus 80, enter. Look at here, we need to enter all the returns as a positive number. So $180,000 would be a net return in year number 15. I'm going to enter that as a positive number. Just press enter. Then go down. This happens just for one period. Okay, this expected value of $180,000 happens just for one period. So I need to change, got here, $180,000. We need to change F04 to 1, but it's already 1. Okay, we don't change that because this expected return of $180,000 would be just for one period of time, just for 1 year. So F04 must be 1. Okay. After entering all the numbers, go down and make sure all the C's and F's are 0, or make sure all the C's are 0 and F's are 1. If you don't do that, you get a wrong answer. Then to find the rate of return, I'm going to press IRR and then CPT. That would be the internal rate of return for this project.